SWAI Talks episode number 2.
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah, we're 2 episodes in.
And fucking loving life.
Loving coffee.
Loving coffee more than anything else.
All our viewers, we hope you love coffee just as much as we do.
So you can enjoy it while we drink it. Enjoy watching us drink it. Just don't listen to us drink it.
Yeah.
Probably not a great sound.
But drink coffee if you're watching this, make sure you get your coffee ready. Drink coffee while watching this, just so you can just really embody the whole experience.
I hope you watch this or listen to this on your drive to work in the morning when you already have coffee. So you're not like just tempted to buy coffee because we have coffee right now.
I want you to buy coffee just because we have coffee.
Mm-hmm.
And don't watch this while you're driving.
Don't watch it, but listen to it.
Listen to it.
Yeah.
On Spotify.
Hell yeah.
Which is pretty cool.
Fuck it. Spotify or Anchor. Anchor's just where it is.
Yeah. Anchor.
But mostly Spotify because everybody has Spotify.
You see how I was like Anchor with a question mark? Like, yeah, for sure.
That's just what we hosted on. We hosted on Anchor. Fucking shout out.
Shouts. Well, what's up, Chris? What have you been up to since, when was the last podcast?
3 weeks ago? A month ago?
Already?
I just got a haircut and I need a haircut now so we can judge by the length of my hair.
Okay.
Probably like a month and a week ago, maybe.
Oh, no. It's been a month?
Yeah, it's been like a whole month.
Fudge. Already? I feel like it's been like 3 weeks.
It might have just been 3 weeks.
Yeah.
It's been like 2 weeks since we put it out.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah. That's true. Okay, so I meant more like since putting it out, I guess.
Yeah.
So you got a haircut?
I need a haircut.
You need a haircut.
I need a haircut. Look at this long, tangly mess.
Sounds like my hair, actually.
Yeah?
Sounds like my hair more than your hair.
Your hair isn't that long.
It is long, it's just curly.
Yeah, but like from my perspective, it's not that long.
Oh, well, from my perspective, your hair's not that long.
I don't believe that.
Yeah, it's true.
It's real long. I don't know. How's your week? Judo.
Judo?
Judo? Judo boy?
Judo. I got me a to-do list going on for my week. Not really, but it is important to do to-do lists like on Sundays. That's like major goals of mine, is to do to-do lists for the entire week. Being organized is super key, especially in the industry that we're in. But this week was all about discipline and focus. So this week I caught myself.
The tapping is back.
Tapping is never left. But this week I really focused on self-awareness of myself when it comes to discipline. Practicing those disciplines like just keeping my apartment clean at all times, eating. I be like, I'm always hungry, but sometimes I be like skipping meals because I'm trying to do some shit. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. It's like, shoot, work. I don't have enough time to eat. Mm-hmm. Go to work for like 8 hours and then come home and eat like my first meal of the day.
It's especially hard to eat if you're like on your way to do something.
Mm-hmm.
I catch myself a lot like realizing that I need to go to work in like 15 minutes and like I don't want to like just wolf down a burger.
Yeah.
Somewhere.
So yeah, just discipline like that. Keeping my apartment clean, reading, eating, waking up early, going to sleep a little earlier. I'm an extremely big night owl, so I'm a big owl in general,
What does that mean?
I don't know. I'm the big owl. I mean, Drake. I feel like Drake is more of the big owl. I mean, he's OVO, so.
Wow.
He's the big owl, actually.
Okay, I get it now.
Yeah.
I'm.
Moral of the story is I'm a night owl.
Okay. Yeah, continue.
Yeah.
Keep going.
So on average, I would go to sleep around 4:30, just trying to be, I just feel like I'm extremely productive and creative in the wee hours of the night, anytime between like 12 and 4 is where I get a lot of my ideas and a lot of work done. And some people operate really well off of that. I mean, like myself, but I've been trying to cut that down and then just wake up earlier and then tackle on more of my day, have more time to eat and do SWAI business stuff and Instagram stuff, which takes up like 60% of my life.
Which is insane to me because my Instagram posts are just whatever I feel like doing, and I post them in like 5 minutes.
I can imagine what that's like, honestly. That's what I've been up to, honestly, trying to make more business happen. Realizing a lot of realization of where we are currently in SWAI, and then our future aspirations and how we're going to get there, and a lot of just other maintenance stuff that we're doing within the agency, trying to set up stuff. That's it.
Hell yeah.
What about you?
I've been editing a bit. We got a lot of, I guess, things I'm not going to like mention right now, but we'll put them out eventually and you'll know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
Sorry, just interrupt this podcast for the cord running segment. I went to Blue Hole, which is cool. It's like up in Georgetown. It's just like a little like dammed off part of, I don't know what river it is. A river or a big stream or something.
In Georgetown.
But it's got this little wall for you to like come and like sit on, and there's like 2 inches of water that go up over the edge of it. So you can just kind of sit and have like the river run over you, but you're still like just chilling right there.
Dang.
And there's plenty of clear water. It's nice. It was really back and forth all day. We were originally going to go down south and hang out. And then it was supposed to rain. And so we drove just as north as we could to go sit in the sun. And then it rained for like 30 seconds.
It did.
Because it just barely missed us. We drove just out of the way of it.
Georgetown.
Other than that, just working. I'm trying to be more productive because I realized there are a lot of times I could be editing, which we talked about, but I'll talk about it again.
Yeah, I talked about what we talked about.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah, just trying to find some ways to, I guess, stay a little more productive and systematic about like my workflow instead of just
systematic.
Like,
that was good. I support that.
Thanks. Systems are lit. Just trying to stay like have a good workflow, and I've been on that before, but I've been like falling out of it lately, and I've really only been working like when I feel like a rush of creativity, or like I really have just a bunch of time to like sit at home and then realize that I'm not doing anything, which I don't have a lot of that time lately. So been trying to just like realize like, okay, this is Monday. This is like my time to work through the rest of the week and like actually force myself into a schedule again a little more consistently. But that's it. I'm not as much of a night owl anymore, which kind of sucks. I'm falling asleep at like midnight. I'm like wicked tired at midnight. I feel really weird. Not true to myself anymore.
I don't know, man. I'm just like, for me, I'm like afraid of what I'm going to miss out in those weeks. I don't know why. I just hate like, I'm just like, I'm going to miss out on something in those few hours of the night that I'm not up or whatever. I don't know. But then realizing like how beautiful it is to wake up in the morning, like that early. If you can realistically wake up at like 7 a.m. and then like, you just hear like birds chirping and shit. You know, it's early. It's almost like you're in a dream when you're like up that early. It's not even surreal to me at this point, just because, yeah, it's so like, it's such a myth. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's just like, so kind of like the shoot you did with Mary for like that edit you threw over that shoot is what it's like that early in the morning for me.
Dreamy, hazy, perfect moment.
It's quiet.
Yeah.
It's so quiet.
Because everybody else is still sleeping in like you. Or they're already at work.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I mean, that's good though.
My favorite time to work recently has been getting up super early. And we talked about this too. Getting super early getting up super early and going to like a coffee shop and just like sitting there for like hours. And I can't do a lot of video editing that way. I can get a lot of like concepts down. I can get a lot of like Photoshop and Lightroom work done. Just because my laptop is not powerful enough to go edit.
Buy us a new laptop, guys. We're starting should we start a Patreon or a GoFundMe? What's gonna get us quicker? Probably the GoFundMe. Huh?
GoFundMe is probably quicker.
But long term, Patreon.
Yeah, Patreon. We'll
figure it out.
Yeah.
Until we figure out how to get you to give us money.
I mean, we can just ask. Give us your money. We can start with $5. Next week, we can up it to 10. If you want us to do another podcast next week, I'll do it for 10 of your dollars.
Yeah, I'll also do. I'm writing 2 to 3 sentence poems for $1.
$1?
Mm-hmm.
Just $1?
2 to 3 sentences max for $1 from your boy.
Can we see any of your other work to see if those are good enough?
No, because that's personal.
Okay.
Like, no.
This is going to be... Write me a 2 to 3 sentence poem right now.
You have $1?
I can Venmo you.
Put on the beat and I'll hit you with 2 to 3 sentences. Well, I guess let's just hop into some questions.
I guess number 1 is, what's your favorite coffee spot recently? Just jumping straight off that.
Well, favorite coffee spot right now is Figure 8 Coffee Purveyors in East Austin.
Mm-hmm.
It's just amazing. I like the type of people that go there too. There's like a specific kind of, you can tell me predominantly the type of people that go there, kind of like that grunge kind of tattoo kind of person.
Mm-hmm.
But also like hippie. But like, I don't know. I just see the same kind of people there all the time. It's kind of like going to that
artsy Austin mix.
Yeah, it's kind of going to like that one dive bar that has like regulars and you see them there all the time. And yeah, it's kind of like that. So, and I like the whole aesthetic of the place. It's just really cool. We have big mirrors and an amazing bathroom.
That's fucking true.
That we were somehow going to orchestrate a shoot in.
Hey, Figure 8. Can we do a high fashion campaign in your bathroom?
But also just in the coffee spot. Like, I mean, the places I like it all. The natural light, the plants, it's just cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's my favorite place. I've already had I'm taking Mary for there, and then I had a meeting there already. It's just a vibe.
Mm-hmm.
So that is my favorite place, hands down. Yeah. What about you?
Hell yeah. Coffee wise, coffee shop wise, probably the favorite place that I've been to, like, to work would be, like, atmosphere wise, not just like based off their coffee, is honestly just the Epoch on
Wes Anderson.
Not the one on Wes Anderson, but the really trendy big window.
The other one that's open 24 hours?
I don't know if it's open 24 hours. It's over on Far West. So it's like, there's the one on Wes Anderson. And then if you go just a little bit west, it's on Far West.
Oh, yeah. Because I remember, I was like, didn't we just pass an Epoch?
Mm-hmm.
I remember one day. I remember seeing that. Okay.
Yeah. But like every single Epoch is like a completely different vibe.
Mm-hmm.
The first Epoch that I went to is the one on North Loop, which
that's what I was talking about.
Is the one we've been to.
It's always just
packed. Yeah, it's okay. That's the one that's open 24
hours.
Okay, I didn't know that. But it's just like got this
feels like a
crazy, vintagey, thrifty. Everything is antique.
Feels like
furniture wise. Yeah,
it
just feels like a closer to like a creative space, like small little apartment kind of emulation, like your friend's basement. Maybe not basement.
I can see that. Your dad's friend's basement.
Yeah. We're just gonna move on past that.
I went to Banu Coffee the other day.
I have that on my list.
It's cool. It's just super quiet, which is cool if you're trying to get something done.
Mm-hmm.
It's like mad quiet. A lot of people getting work done in there. It's a vibe though that when you walk in, they have this really cool area that kind of emulates like a bar low key, mm-hmm. and has very dope lighting. that was cool. I sat outside just because I was going there to have a little conversation, stuff like that, over coffee and whatnot. But it's a vibe. It's kind of like it's almost like antique, like Epoch on North Loop. But yeah, there's a lot of students in there. It's real quiet though. It's like, it's not like Monkey's Nest where like, yeah, you're there to do work, but you can also like have conversation at the same time. Like no one was talking inside, which is why we went outside.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
That's one thing that, okay, speaking of Monkey Nest, that's like my number one, maybe my number two coffee spot, just for the coffee in particular, not just for like, but it's not my number one by far for like the environment. I don't remember. I think Zay might have said like, it's basically just like a cafeteria. It's kind of just like tables laid out as closely together with as much seating as possible for people to work, but it's not really like a whole environment unless you can go back into that little back room and like hang out for a little while.
Yeah, back room's always taken up.
My favorite coffee is probably Thunderbird right now. Just in a mix of like, it tastes good and it actually is strong enough to wake me up. Because I went to Lola Savannah the other day and it was really strong coffee and it really woke me up, but it wasn't 10 out of 10 coffee like taste wise. So I'm still trying to find that like balance of good place to work, good coffee that actually wakes me up and tastes great.
See, that's the difference between me and you is that I drink coffee for the sugar because I get mochas. So, but again, Figure 8 has a really good coffee bean. I think I was looking at their coffee bean. It's like an Ethiopian coffee bean. I don't know. It's just they make a really good mocha over there. But also Hank's is like hobby number.
Oh shit, I forgot.
And aesthetic wise too. I can work at Hank's inside and outside. Okay. It's literally like going into like a low-key art museum. I don't know. It's very contemporary, very nice. They have a good coffee bean, good food.
Hell yeah.
They have a dope bar. I mean,
that's kind of, so the look of the Epoch on Far West is close to Hank's. Also, I'm going to pull that because Hank's still is my favorite place to go and work. I just haven't been there in a while, but it's just ultra contemporary, ultra clean, white, neutrals. Everything just feels pleasant. You feel like you have more money than you do when you walk in there.
That's true. And they have like freaking plugs, sockets like everywhere, like on the ground. It's amazing. Yeah.
There's a place that I saw the other day. I want to say it's like the Commune. It's like a WeWork space, like a collective workspace place where you can rent out like.
I actually haven't been in any WeWork spaces yet.
I was at one that was.
What was that?
Oh, my monitor's dying.
Oh.
I can just swap the batteries. We are there's a WeWork on 35. Then when you get up there, it's just like a whole crazy coffee shop area, but that's all I've seen of it. I haven't seen like any of the actual space. Here, let me swap that battery out. Pause. And we're back.
Running deep.
Do you think that you would ever work in a WeWork space, or do you think you would rather just work in coffee shops?
It depends on what we're working on collectively.
Yeah. What's the advantage to working in a WeWork kind of space?
You feel like, from what I can understand, I just feel like it gives off the appeal as if you are in an office building with your peers. I think dry erase boards are very important when it comes to setting like goals, figuring out like brainstorming. But there's freedom to be as vocal as you want. I mean, that's like a collective thing. Like I would rent out, maybe at some point I would rent out a WeWork space for a SWAI meeting, just so we can like go over topics, discuss things, But it just depends. It also depends on the coffee shop, though. I don't know. I'm not sure. That's a good question, but I mean, as far as I know right now, like I would just work out of a coffee shop, like with me and you or like me and two other people. But if it becomes like more of a group thing, like the whole SWAI operation or just in general, like 6 people and trying to figure out something as a unit, then yeah, WeWork would be a go-to. What about you?
I'm pretty sure one of the big things would probably just be privacy. Being able to rent out something like a conference room to be able to like sit and have meetings in a space that feels like a workspace, something that feels like an office instead of feeling like you guys are like ragtag teaming together and like going to work in a coffee shop. I also don't know the full like rates or anything that would go into
Me either.
like a WeWork space or something like the commune, which by the way is like a WeWork space, but it's like it feels like the inside of like Hank's, like ultra, just like clean whites and tans, and then like some plants, and it's like super trendy. Wow, feels like a trendy coffee shop, but it's an office space. But yeah, I think ultimately I agree with just it being a big workspace, like office space where everybody's being productive and you're not just there hanging out like at a coffee shop.
And essentially, that's like what I'm sure we would all like, especially with me and you, with SWAI, we would kind of like our own space. It's part of the reason why that never really falls on my radar unless we just need to like, I guess if we're working on something big, but like I would just like our own space, honestly.
Yeah.
Just something for us to work towards rather than going and renting out something. I don't know, I feel like that money can go towards something else like equipment or other stuff. I don't know.
And I know a lot of WeWork spaces are just, they're not for really like what we're trying to do. A lot of times it's like, oh, okay, this is a team that really needs to be together and be on the same, like in the same space, not working remotely and feel like they're in a work environment and like have all these tools like high-speed internet, especially for a lot of jobs that are like tech-based. WeWork is probably a good idea.
Yeah, shout out WeWork though. What a genius concept.
There's a whole like other side of that that's like the real estate thing. That's another story. That's a whole other topic. So continuing on, do you have a topic or question?
Yeah, I do.
Hell yeah. Fucking hit me with that.
Do you dream about creative concepts or ideas?
Like, do I fall asleep and I have like visions?
Yeah, or like, do you dream like, have you dreamt yourself shooting something like, and then you woke up and you were like, oh shit, I thought I was just shooting this like whole thing.
No, I think I probably had like weird dreams where I'm like on set somewhere, maybe in the future, like as an adult, but it's not like the main concept of the dream. That's just like part of whatever's happening, I guess, ultimately. It's just part of my life. And then like the rest of the dream is the important story meat.
Yeah, I just thought it'd be something interesting to ask.
Yeah. Have you?
Not necessarily. I mean, I've dreamt like I was modeling in front of a camera or whatnot, but like, I don't know. I just feel like your mind is such a powerful thing, and whatever you have your mind set on at that time, like you start to dream about, and whether that's like aspirations or a person that you admire, or you're maybe dating, or maybe how a movie affected you that you watched and you dreamt about your own version. Like, I was just wondering, like, do you think like creators like dream about like themselves, like in the future, working on things or dream concepts?
That's probably a pretty, not like maybe common thing, but it's definitely happened. I'm going to assume.
Like, wouldn't it be crazy? Likely. Like, I dreamt this concept, like, and then you did it, and then telling that story of how you dreamt that, I just think it'd be pretty dope.
There's probably a lot of people who are like, yeah, this like movie idea came to me in a dream. Maybe they're not all great movies, but they exist out there. Like, I'm not saying Titanic just came to James Cameron in his dreams, but yeah. I don't know why that's my example. Titanic, a historical event. He came up with
came to his dreams.
He came up with this idea, this unforeseen concept of a thing that already happened years and years ago. Hit me with another, because that was pretty Short. That wasn't as long as my coffee discussion. So let's fucking do it.
Okay. What local artist or model would you like to collaborate with? We're from Austin, guys, by the way. I mean, I don't know if you knew that. We're located in Austin.
Austin, Texas.
Austin, Texas.
ATX, boy. Sorry.
That's going to be a memorable moment for us to... I think we should do a segment when we say things that are like not that dope. And then we look back on it. Be like, remember that last comment you made on the podcast?
There's a lot of that, so I think we're pretty solid.
I know.
I know that I think we just talked about it. And we like are so heavily associated at this point. But I still have not shot with Beck. And she's fucking incredible at everything she works on. And I just want to try and do something fucking cool with
Miss Preciado. Beck Preciado. Yeah. Shout out Beck.
But hell yeah. I can't really think of anything else. We have that one thing coming up, which is not going to be talked about, I guess, until it's a thing.
I don't know what thing he's talking about.
Okay.
I won't know until off camera.
Yeah, that's fine. That's another secret thing that is in the works. I kind of hate that we can't talk about until like things are done, but I think it's a good rule.
That was just now implemented.
Yep. You're witnessing history, folks. Yeah, I think that's my big one.
Mm-hmm.
As far as like local artists,
I mean, I just said model or artists, like, you know.
Yeah.
I mean, if anybody that comes to mind. But yeah, so Beck.
Yeah, that's my main thing. Just because I've been like not trying to make it happen for so long, but thinking about making it happen for so long that like at this point it just makes more sense to like just do it whenever I remember to or have time. What about you?
It's a tough one. I'm like very selective about who I work with. So I would like to work with, a couple people. Obviously, I would like to work with the homie, Elio Winter, which we're going to work together in the future. Just got to figure out a concept. Elio's a really big concept guy.
Mm-hmm.
Like, so figure out, I want to do something. I had talked to him about it. I want to do something that is a little bit out of my comfort zone. They still have to do it along the lines of fashion, but it's something a little different that you haven't seen yet. So, but that's somebody I would like to work with, but we already are going to work together with each other.
Mm-hmm.
I want to work with, hold on, I'm going through Ig right now, low key.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. From a collaborative aspect, I want to work with Beck too on some like fashion stuff, because she also like just be making her own clothes and shit. And Yadi Estrada.
Mm-hmm.
I want to work with her. She's super cold at modeling. We're gonna do something too as well. So we're already working on some type of a little fashion shoot.
Hell yeah.
So that's going to be pretty cool, which reminds me, I got to get a little mood board popping for that. But yeah, I would say right now, yeah, love to work with Yachty, love to work with Beck, and for sure Elio as well. So sorry for that super long. I'm asking you questions that like I necessarily didn't prepare for. I just like thought of all these questions and I was like, these are good questions.
That's fair. I wrote down a bunch of questions that I didn't really think about either. I just thought about what it might bring up, like things that we've talked about, things that I know that you would want to talk about, and just lead to that. But I don't know how to respond to them entirely. similar to that, I had written down originally like what are your biggest like Austin based like influences, but I think ultimately I'd rather ask like what are your like biggest like top 2 or 3 influences as of late for like your own work, not just doing, well, I guess for anything really.
Biggest influences right now.
And they don't have to come just from like models or photographers or anything, just anything creative.
Interior design.
Okay.
Very big. I'm sorry, I don't know what I'm trying to say. Very big. Interior design has been a very big influence on me lately. I bought this one magazine called Serial.
Okay.
It's right there. I had to move it. But just interior design and like just studying. I'm just taking like interior design and studying color palettes when it comes to transforming that into how I style myself.
Mm-hmm.
I know, I'm just weird. I just take influence from anything. So yeah, I've just been looking a lot of interior design. I've also been I don't know. I've just been studying like a few high fashion designers as well. I'm always studying like high fashion designers, just trying to figure out where fashion is moving and, just to like style myself accordingly, So like Micah Miri and I study a lot of Japanese fashion too, just because that's just like they're just always like 5 years ahead of us. I don't know. I have so many like a lot of me right now just has so many things saved in my like Instagram photos and things on mood boards and stuff like that. So it's kind of hard to say, to be real with you, but I know that interior design has played a major role on like a lot of like my tones and everything. I've just kind of been looking at a lot of like fashion bloggers that are wearing a lot of like color palettes, like strong color palette, or like vibrant color palettes. Just 'cause I need to add more color into my wardrobe. Mm-hmm. That's something we talked about. So just kind of been seeing what they've been doing and take inspiration. I kind of take inspiration from anybody and everything. So, and then making my own. So, just taking notes for the most part. But, I guess, I don't know if that's like really answering your question, but
that's close enough. I mean, it's kind of half of it. I realized half of my answer to it would have been like the same. I have specific like things like people that are like really big influences to me. But then I also have like whole like genres. I've been like just kind of having this shotgun spread of inspiration from following a bunch of colorists on Instagram. So like for one, you get a lot of like insight on color theory and how to keep things like really how to sit there and like color grade. And that's something that I'm not 100% great at and something that I would love to be better at. And a lot of that is working with different like formats and codecs and things like gamma profiles and stuff. But you also get insight into like hundreds and hundreds of different like director of photography, so DPs, through following colorists. You get to see so many different like small projects you would never see otherwise, because these are just like, I think the biggest one is like, I think it's Company 3. I follow Joseph Bicknell, which I'll put his thing up here. But he's like constantly working on something, and like commercials and short films and like art house things, feature films that are going through this coloring company and then put out on the other side. And they're all so wildly different genres. Mm-hmm. And some of them will have direction and some of them are just like colorists doing whatever they feel is right. And I think a lot of what I want to be better at with color is using it to emphasize story. As opposed to just being able to technically do it better and keep my skin tones right, because Sony is not great at all at skin tones, but I'm getting better at it. That's my big thing. And then artists like Brian Gahan? Yeah. And Sammy Swar, obviously, my big like street fashion, cyberpunk, super clean, digital everything. Those are like two of my biggest photographer, like individual influences.
Yeah, and I've been like studying other things more for other people, and studying other photographers and stuff like that, and just really diving myself into like the fashion industry when it comes to just those big studio concepts. That's just more for like big projects I would like for us to execute, or not big, but just like bigger projects, and adding more to our portfolio as an agency on the modeling side.
Yeah.
So a lot of it hasn't been like so much for me. It's just been for like other people. Like, I'll study like commercials and stuff like that, and film stuff for you, and I'll study stuff for like Mary Fern Tara and Sarah. So there's a plethora of things like saved all over SWAI ports and everything SWAI, and my page of like all this inspiration for things that I know we're capable of doing. It's just thinking of it as a unit and executing together in a sense.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Huh, I feel that. I haven't done as much like research for other people recently. And I've also been like, I feel like so technically focused. I haven't had like tons and tons of concepts coming through, like personally. Just making sure that I'm doing everything right through my role, which I guess technically is just production, and not as heavily involved on creative. And the more I can focus on production, the better, and the better our quality gets. And then nobody else really has to worry about production, and I can worry about everything technical, and you guys can be fucking genius creative people, and I can jump in whenever I need to. But my big focus right now is just being technically better.
At speaking.
That too.
Technically speaking.
Wow. Don't. I don't want that. Do you have another question?
Well, technically speaking, I do.
Oh my God. We can stop. That's the end of the podcast.
That's actually the name of the podcast. This episode is called Technically Speaking.
God damn it. He called it. I don't have a better idea, so we're going to stick with that.
So how do you feel about, vaguely touched on this, but how do you feel about being a creator on Instagram? Like, just let's talk about this. These conversations are weighed in pretty heavily with groups of creators. Once you bring up Instagram, there's just so many people chiming in on like, to me, it's almost like not even a 50-50 thing. For me, it's almost like a 40-60 thing of like the negativity of Instagram versus the positive things of Instagram.
Here's my biggest thing is I'm in a totally different world of Instagram than you. Because I'm not trying to push my Instagram following. And Instagram to me is just kind of, it's the same thing as like Pinterest to me, where it's just a bunch of inspiration. And I curate that to myself as much as possible. And then it's an outlet for me to just put work out and gain some like local close friends or like people supporting other people. But I don't need a bunch of likes and a bunch of numbers to feel like good about it. I can get like 10 likes on a picture and then like get a compliment from like a local photographer that I respect. And like that's worth a lot more. So that's my thing with Instagrams. I really like putting out my work on some sort of platform, and Instagram is kind of the best way to do it as far as community goes. Because there are other platforms like Flickr, or I guess Visco is like a way to put out photography, but that's like through the editor and everything. But yeah, just a way to like connect with other creatives and not just gain following for a business standpoint, but just a nice tight-knit community. I wish that Instagram were better at displaying like high quality photos, because taking like 42 megapixel photos and then like having them
Compressed
in Instagram compression can be like kind of shitty. But especially when I want to frame, like, I take everything in a 2x3, and the best you can do is a 4x5.
4x5.
So it squeezes everything down, or you put it in brackets and it like
messes the whole.
And then it's even smaller.
Yeah.
And so you have to like pinch, and then the compression isn't quite right. So a lot of the details are lost through it. And I want to start putting things up on the website and just being able to link it with every post.
Exactly.
Other than that, that's my thing with Instagram. Yeah. Algorithms and stuff like that, that's not on my side. But how do you feel about Instagram?
I love Instagram, honestly. I always have loved Instagram since the platform was introduced just to iPhone users. I was all over it just because I'm such a visual-based person. And I realized early on, like, how powerful it could be. So now where I'm at currently, being like a brand curator and an influencer and, you know, model or whatever. I think as a whole, like, I mean, numbers and engagement matter from like a business aspect, but it doesn't. And I would say part of it matters, like, to me, just being self-aware. Like, there's always something that I never would understand. I never could understand. It was just like not receiving the support from people like who know me. You know what I'm saying? And I'm like just naturally such a supportive person with no like motive.
Yeah.
You know? That's something I never could get. Or like the support would come like when they would see success, you know? Mm-hmm. And that's just something that happens in anything that someone's trying to achieve. That's really difficult to obtain when it comes to like a goal, like maybe being an actor or a musician or an artist. Like, I don't know. It's just for some reason, like, I just feel like people don't support until like they see you're on or they see an achievement. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's just a weird thing with me personally. But I love Instagram, and I love what they're trying to do when it comes to like, they keep changing the algorithms for multiple reasons, but they're really just trying to, part of me just feels like they're really just trying to force us to connect more, you know, and build genuine following. The reason they keep changing the algorithms just because of all the bot-based profiles, like, you know, the fake likes and the fake comments and stuff like that, and the bot followers and stuff like that. But it does make it difficult when like only like 7% of people that follow you see your posts. Like, and if it doesn't reach a certain amount of likes in the first hour, and you don't engage in the comments in the first hour, and like then your photo gets hidden. So just a lot of ups and downs, and it's a lot of work that has to be put in on Instagram for you to be seen. Yeah, and I'm just being like, I try to be as self-aware as possible, and just like realizing how much work I put into like, and you and I put in like for these brands, it gives us like more opportunity. And you know, like, and you shoot it, and I on my back end put in even more work when it comes to like curation, because that's like very important to me. Like, you know, like the post-production things that I'd be doing, like trying to make it look different from my peers and kind of make it look like it's like magazine style, and doing all these like cool edits. That's just one thing. Like, just going above and beyond for it to be seen on a platform that's like hiding your work. I don't know. It's just, it just like bothers me in a sense. But also on the flip side, it's just like, we do have a site that we do need to like shift people to, like our work to. That's where our work can be displayed. Like, I mean, granted, we are kind of hindered because, shout out Squarespace. We love Squarespace. And, you know, the price of it's awesome and everything, but you are kind of hindered when it comes to what you can do, just because each, not profile, but what is it? Like the web design, each design is different. Template. Yeah. Each template is different, and it hinders you. Like, I necessarily wouldn't set up our work a certain way. Yeah. If I wasn't like, I'm restricted. Like,
it like holds your hand, and you can get 90% close to like what you want. but it's never like quite exactly the way you want it to be set up unless you like have the expertise to go in and like change it
on the HTML side, the coding side. So, but I just think that I love Instagram for what it does, especially from an agency aspect and everything, from marketing, content marketing, and everything, and bringing creators together. But
the
also,
story feature has been
the story features. I love the stories too, and that's just another thing you have to do to be like to be seen too. Is like you got to be big in stories. You got to hit live. You got to be consistent with posts. It's just so much you have to do for it to like show love back to you. It's insane. It's not. I mean, from somebody who's like, I guess banking off of like engagement and everything, something that it needs to happen for you to get more, I guess more gigs, more, more stuff coming in. But I don't know. I just feel like part of me is just like take that same energy and just put it into building like
your own
platform. That's like always something I've talked to you about and talked to, a few close people around me about. It's just like, God, I would put so much energy into that, dude. Like,
and that's and I think something I don't know if we talked about it on the podcast last time. One of my biggest like influences overall with like business structure wise and like content production is Rooster Teeth, just because they were one of the first big like production companies. They took all of their effort that they were putting into YouTube and like just other social media platforms and like spreading everything out there, and they created their own website with their own VOD, like their own like video streaming like service, and they just charge like a blanket little cover fee, and that's how they fund all of these productions, is just through like people paying like $2 a month to like see all of the stuff that they make. And there's a couple companies like following in their footsteps right now, and I don't even like explicitly like want to charge like just like a little paywall to get in. I just want to be able to build a platform that shows our work the way that we want it to be seen exactly.
Because we're essentially like we talked about this a little bit in the last podcast about what SWAI is, and I've kind of dug a little bit deeper, and like to me SWAI is currently, like, you can label it as an agency, but to me SWAI is actually a network. To me it's a network, just especially with the amount of things that we have planned in the future, but like where we currently are, it's just more of a whole network. So,
and like there's different pieces of it. It's all just kind of under the SWAI name. Like it goes like department by department, and I guess the agency is part of like SWAI as a whole, but it's not SWAI. And the monitor's dying again. But no, that's exactly that's it. And it's probably just about time for me to restart the camera again.
Cool.
So if you want to call it the end of the podcast right now, bye forever, guys. I love you.
And call on the podcast. Bye.